Okay, the first player marker is gold. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a metal coin, I'm sorry. Hey guys, this is Will from Table the Game, and I really hope everybody is having a great day. So I have been looking forward to this video for a really long time. So I backed this game in 2024. It was supposed to arrive at the end of the year. It didn't. There was a little complications, but early 2025 it came, and that game is Storm Raiders. So you might have seen the unboxing video that I made for this game. This is just an amazing game, and I'm gonna go over a little bit about this game in a second. We're gonna, kind of got the game set up. We're gonna look at the components. We're gonna look at the board. We're gonna go over a couple of the rules, look at some stuff. And then I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna go over what I really like about this game. Now, game was designed by Shim Phillips, which of course is one of my favorite game designers. Arcus Games is a new publishing company that I hadn't heard of before this game. I do believe they've only published a couple other games, but if I'm wrong, please forgive me. No, one thing that, a little shout out to this company is they have another game that was on Kickstarter. I don't know if you can even back it anymore, but that is Shadow Moon Syndicates. That really has a lot of a similar look. It's when it comes to art as Storm Raiders. That's one of the things that really drew me to this game was the raw look of this game. But this is Storm Raiders, so let's get down to the table. All right, guys, this is a two-player game of Storm Raiders set up. So the way it works is when you set this game up, you have, it tells you right here for dice, okay? For a 1 to 2 player game, you have 3 dice of black dice and you have 2 gray dice that are here. This is what you're gonna play with. Then each round, there's 6 rounds and it gives you a place, to put. There's 1 extra dice and that determines where the storm goes, and you're going to put that dice here, and that's kind of how you keep track of dice. All right, so with your bag, you have a resource bag right here. At the beginning of the game, you're going to set out 3 just random resources in these storm sites. There's 13 of them, including where the storm starts, which is marked right here for you. Then there's going to be contracts. You're going to have this contract bag right here, and you're going to set out randomly these contracts. Now these contracts, they're going to show you basically what resources you need. So this one needs these 3 resources, and then if you get that, you're going to get not only the points, these are the prestige points, and then you're going to get whatever it shows you here. In this particular one, you get 2 medals. Okay, so then so let's go over your dashboard here. All right, so this is a player dashboard. So each player is going to get a trike, you're going to get a plane, and you're going to get a sub, okay? Now, I believe there's 8 of each of these. So the way I play is randomly choose 2 per player, and then they choose the one that they want. Now, each vehicle gives you different things. So this trike right here, it says remove 1 die and 1 damage from any 1 vehicle after fulfilling a contract. So if you fulfill a contract, and you used this trike to get to the contract to fill it, then you can do that. So each vehicle, you have to actually use that vehicle for that turn to be able to use the special thing that it allows you to do. Now the Storm Raider, this gives you a special power if you rest, and so I'm going to go over that in a second. All right, now so on your turn, you're going to do a couple things. You're going to choose from this dice pool, either black or gray. This one right here is the logo. I'm sorry, this is the logo from Arcus Games, and that is the number 1. That is a wild. So you're going to choose one of the dice, and you're going to then use it for your turn. So you can do one of 3 things. Is number 1 is you can move to a storm site. You can move to a wreck site. You can move to a stronghold, which are where these contracts are, or you can rest, okay? All right, guys, let's go over kind of movement around the board here. So there's a few things you need to worry about. Is number 1 is there are routes that take you to the different sites. You have your wreck sites, your storm holds. Now there are dice symbols in the middle of each one of these routes, and so those symbols represent hours. Now there's 3 different types of vehicles like we went over before. You got your trikes, you got your planes, and you got your subs here. And so each route, different vehicles can travel on different routes. So like they're going to show you what vehicles you can use. So if there is a sub, that means you can use your sub here. If there's a plane, you can use your plane. And if there's nothing, then you can either use your trike or you can use your plane. The plane's pretty versatile. It can travel anywhere because it's up in the air. The sub, it has to be connected to water, and the trike has to be connected to land. All right, so let's kind of go over what we would do if we wanted to move somewhere. All right, so in this case right here, let's say we're on this stormhold here and we want to go to this wreck site. There's a number 1 here, which represents 1 hour. So we have to choose a 1 or greater to move. We also have to decide which vehicle we're going to use. So in this case, we cannot use the sub because it's not connected to water. So we have to use the plane or the trike. So let's pretend here that we're going to use the trike here. So the lowest number, actually this right here is a wild. So I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna keep it as a 1. And I'm gonna show you why that's important here. So I'm gonna place it right here. All right. So now I can move it to this site. That's my turn. But at the same time, I get to decide to choose to get resources. So you can choose to get 1 resource, 2 resources, or none at all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose these 2 right here. So right here, this is where you keep your resources. Now, once they're full, you have to then remove a resource that you may not want, and you cannot keep more than this. I believe there's 9 spots here. Now, there's a couple things I want you to look at. Right here, this is a weapons, or these are ammo. All right, so ammo is kind of dangerous, of course. So what it does is that creates damage to your vehicle a lot of times because you are transporting this. There's extra risks involved. So on each one of these vehicles, there are depictions on what creates damage if you play them. So in this case, if you play a 5 or 6, you're going to get another damage that's going to fill this spot here. If you take a wild, each one of these will require damage. So I did take 1 wild, so I have to put it on the very right. Now you can see it starts to fill up. All right. Now, the other thing that you have to worry about when you are using your vehicles is this is a 1. The next time I have to continue to go up. So the next time I cannot play another 1 here. It has to be a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. All right, so let's just pretend, this was a 6. I'm done here. I can't, unless I have something that tells me I can match that, I'm done. Okay, also, whenever you play on this, you can take care of the action that your trike or your vehicle lets you do. So this says, remove 1 die and 1 damage from any 1 vehicle after fulfilling a contract. So in this case, I did not fulfill a contract, but if I did, I could remove a die and a damage from any 1 vehicle. Alrighty, so the other thing I want to go over is, so there's different resources, but there's also a special resource here. It's not really a resource, this is a crew. All right, so if you take this, you don't actually put this on your player board, you put it on the discard here. And then this is your crew cards. You start off the game with everyone has a basic crew card. Everyone has the same one. There's different picture, but it has the same effect. This one says increase or decrease a drafted die by up to 2 or destroy to gain a mod. I'm going to go over mod in a second. But in this case, if I grab this crew resource, if I was on a wreck site, I would grab the top 2, I would look at them, and I would choose 1, okay? So let's just say, and then put at the bottom of the deck here. All right, so this one says pay 1 fewer mechanical machinery when fulfilling a contract. So that is, I believe that's this resource right here. So if a contract required that, like this one right here, you would only need 1. Now, if you play this card, you then have to flip it over, and because you keep that crew for the entire time. All right, now let's go to this crew right here. So this says increase or decrease a drafted die by up to 2 or destroy to gain 1 mod. So if you use this, you would of course turn it over, and then you would get, you would destroy the die and you would get 1 mod. Now here's the cool thing about mods here. Okay, in these sections here, you get to choose wherever you put it. And so you remember here how we got a damage for getting the wild? So if I end up placing that mod here, what this represents is I am fixing this vehicle, I am making it better, And so now that no longer affects me. I can start to, use, the, wild or the ammo, and it's not going to affect me anymore. So as you start to build up, then, your machines become better and you stop getting a lot of damage. Alrighty, now the other thing I want to go over is, right here we grab these resources. When you grab one or two, there's a symbol here, okay? And that symbol is your dials up here. And this was a crew symbol. And so I would end up going up one, on this dial. Now this one, as you see, I was right here on this 2. The reason for that is you start off with some extra. This one came with 2 crew and then one metal. So I would actually go up one more, and you can see now as I'm on the number 2. And what that means at the end of the game, for every crew card that I have, I multiply it by 2, and I get that many prestige points. So if the game was over at this point, I would have 2 cards times 2. I'd have 4 extra points to go. All right, guys. And so then let's just pretend we go through the round and we have, everyone's gone, and we have, now is when the storm takes over. Is whatever number is here, then that storm is going to move that many times. Now it depends on which color, and this is where it kind of gets cool. If it is a gray color, it's going to go counterclockwise. If it was a black, it's going to go clockwise. So in this case, it is a 2. It's going to go, and it only goes through different wreck sites. It does not go through the storm does not go through the storm holes. You are safe if you are landed on a storm hole and it comes by you. But in this case, I have a 2, so it's going to travel 2. It's going to go 1, 2, and now here is the storm. I'm going to place this right here, and it's going to show me that round is over. Now, if you are either on a storm site or where the storm lands, or it passed through you, you're going to take damage to each one of your vehicle. So you're going to add damage to each one of your vehicle. And then it also drops off new resources wherever it goes. So I believe if it's just 2, and it depends on how much it goes. If it's just 2, it's gonna drop 3 additional resources whenever you go. All right, a couple other things, and I'm almost done. And this is not a complete rules teach, but then once the second round starts, you start doing some different things to clean up the round. So any contracts that haven't been used, they start to turn over to this black. And then the next round, if they're still not used, you add damage to it. So now if you take this, you're going to take damage. And then if they're still not used, you remove them, and you're going to end up placing a new one. Well, where that can hurt you is you've been trying to build up to get enough resources to get this thing, and then it goes away, and maybe you don't have what it takes to get the new contract. And so that's a basic overview of the game. It's like you can see, it's pretty simple. There's a few other things you have to worry about as you play, but at the end of the day, you keep on going through the rounds. One big thing is as the rounds continue, you start adding an extra movement for the storm. So the very last round, it is moving whatever the die says +3. If you have a 6 on your die +3, that is 9 movement. It's probably gonna hurt somebody. So let's get back to the top, and let's go over a couple more things. All right, guys, that was Storm Raiders. What did you think about this game? Let me know. Please comment if you have any questions. Did anything stick out at you? Was there anything that intrigued you about this game? So for me, when I looked at it on Kickstarter, a few things that really stuck out to me was, number 1 was the round board. I've never played a game with a round board, and so when I saw it, it really intrigued me. Number 2, of course, Shem Phillips designing it. As you guys know, he's one of my favorite designers, so when I saw it, I couldn't pass it up. And then the art style of Arcus Games really stuck out to me. I love the realistic, raw look of this game, and they really kind of stuck to that in the next game that they made, which is Shadow Moon Syndicates. It is more colorful, but it has a similar realistic, raw look to it. And man, I'm really looking forward to that game, plus other things that this company is going to produce in the years to come. So thanks you, Arcus Games, for making this great game, and I just hope to see more from you guys. Let's go over kind of some things that I really like about this game, and there's just a there's one or two things that, not that I didn't like about it, but you know, and maybe small complaints, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Okay, number one is the components in this game. So, you know, take a look at this standee, as you guys already saw it. It's clear plastic, this crisp look to it. I mean, it just looks so awesome. The table presence of this game, to me, is just as good as any. You got this standee of the storm. Oh my gosh. Man, this thing is daunting when you're playing this game. You are running from this thing. You don't want anything to do with this thing, and it is chasing you. And as the rounds go on, it is coming after you. I mean, it may move 9 spots. I mean, it's probably going to hit you on the 6th round. If it doesn't, you are very lucky, or you played a really good game. So the dashboard is super well done. The double dashboard, you got the components like the cardboard for all the vehicles, and the Storm Raider is just it's thick, it's nice. You have the bags that come for the contracts and the resources, the tray that holds the dice and everything. And I didn't show you guys this, but in the box, there is compartments, and it's just there to organize it. The organization in this game is top of the line. Okay, the first player marker is gold. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a metal coin. I'm sorry. It just, man, this is very well done. Now, I don't know exactly how the retail version looks, but I'm sure the first player marker is probably cardboard. Other than that, I don't really know. Okay, now let's go over kind of what I really like about this game, and it's kind of different than what I would usually say, is because number one is the game is set up for 1 to 4 players. It's set up for 14 plus, and it plays in about 60 minutes. At the look of it, it looks simple. So you only have 12 turns in the entire game, so you've got to get busy. You got to get a plan going, and you got to get it going quick, and you got to expedite things, okay, if you're going to make anything happen. All right, so here is what really stuck out to me and really impressed me about this game, is the ease of this game. This game gives you a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of depth to this game. There's a lot of things going on, and you don't have a lot of time. You have 12 turns to get a lot of things done, and so there's a lot to do. But with that being said, you only have 3 things to choose from, for the most part. And that simplicity did a couple things. Number one, the rule book is one of the easiest and most laid out rule books I've ever seen. I read a lot of rule books, and sometimes like I have a question, and trying to find out where it's at is like, I have no idea. But this one is so well laid out. It's so systematic. Whoever wrote it my hat's off. You are a genius. You are awesome. So Arcus Games, let me know who wrote this rule book, because it is awesome. Okay. Number 2 is there's only 3 things that you get to do on your turn. On your turn, you're going to choose 1 of 3 things. You're going to move and go to a storm site, a wreck site, and you're going to get resources or something, or maybe nothing, but you're going to go to a wreck site. All right, number 2, you're going to go to a stronghold or a stormhold, and you're going to either sit there and be safe from the storm, or you're going to fulfill a contract. Okay, number 3, if you can't move anymore or you don't want to move anymore, you are going to refresh. You're going to fix your vehicles. You're going to gain all kinds of extra stuff from resting. That's it. So that's simplicity. When I first started playing the game, I was like, the first couple turns, I was like, you're just doing these couple things, right? But here's where it gets awesome, is that every move you make, you have so many other things that start taking place. So, depending on the vehicle, you have to start deciding, okay, I'm getting damage on my sub. I can't use that anymore. Okay, I got too much damage on my trike. Now I have to use my plane or my sub. Or I need to go across Atlantis, and I can't because I have too much damage on my sub. Or when you play these certain vehicles, it gives you special abilities. So this is the plane I have. Remove 1 die from any vehicle for each damage taken. So you get these decisions. Okay, as you start collecting things, you start gaining medals, you start gaining mods. These mods, you can start covering up different areas of your board, so you stop getting damaged. So man, this game it's easy to set up, it's easy to learn. I can just see us getting this game to the table because of that. But when when you get it to the table, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of decisions that once you make a decision, there's a lot of things that come with it. And so man, I can see this game becoming a favorite for myself. And so hats off to Arcus Games, hats off to Shem Phillips. Storm Raiders is just awesome. Now, just a couple things that I didn't necessarily like about this game. And not really, it's not even about the game, okay? And I'm sure Arcus Games is going to expect this, okay? I'm gonna show you guys something here. So this is a base, let me see. Okay, there it is right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's cracked, okay? So they have, when you open this game, there is a little note that says, before you put these standees together, watch this video. So you know what I did? I didn't watch the video, okay? And what's funny is I usually read directions. I'm not like most men. I read directions actually, and a lot of times, but not this time. Okay, so I put the first one together. When I put it together and it worked, I was like, oh, I don't need to look at these. I don't need to look at the video. So then when I went to put the rest of them, because I actually just put the first one to make the box opening video. Then, it was a few days later, I'm putting all of them together. The first two bases break, all right? And I'm looking at it, and they give you 2 extra bases, and I was very thankful. I was like, okay, thank you. So then I watched the video. Now, to be fair, the video, you have to take off the film on these standees. There's like a plastic film. That was extremely hard to take off. And the video, the way that they taught me, I couldn't do it that way. But hey, it's probably me. So then when I was putting the bases, the last base that I put on, and I did it the way they taught, that was that one. It did crack. So that was a little tough. But other than that, I'm going to tell you, when I was about to make this video, there was one other thing, and I can't even remember what it was. I mean, and these aren't a big deal. In fact, Arcus Games, I don't know how old it is as a game publisher, but man, doing something like this isn't easy. And there's a lot of moving parts, so it's not even though it was a little frustrating, it is what it is. I mean, that's life. Things don't always work out 100%, and you just can learn from it. And so other than that, guys, man, I really enjoyed this game. I enjoyed making this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, if you did, please subscribe to my channel. Please let me know what you think. Comment below anything you want about this game, any questions, anything you like. I would really, really like to see what you guys think about it. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.